Man, Kat, that intro is still amazes me. I can't believe you put that together. Thank you so much. Welcome everybody to another Tuesday night Principal Kyra broadcast brought to you from Band of Brothers and DE. Um, Coming off this weekend, just an absolutely incredible DE. I'm amazed at how many times, and again, I don't know if it's just me, but like how not sure if the weekend's going the way. I don't not, there's some great stuff, but it's not coming together. And all of a sudden, Steve Judson speaks, and the whole thing comes together. And then, it's incredible to me. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everybody. Especially Rachel putting that whole thing together. I know Kat had a lot to do with it. My brothers David Sarnoff and Judson and Tim Warner and Moriarty for distracting me and throwing me that surprise birthday party, which if anybody's confused, I had no clue, not one clue, one bit, but I appreciate it so much. I really do. It meant a lot. And then also, my parents were there. It was the first time they got to hear me speak. And it was an absolutely unbelievable weekend for them. And I can't thank everybody enough who had kind words to say about me, but also were just so kind to them. So loving to them and welcome them with open arms. I really don't expect anything less, but when it happens, it's pretty overwhelming. It was pretty emotional and powerful for me. So I really appreciate it. It was a great weekend. And also I thank Life University, for they awarded me a leadership jacket for donating money, and I appreciate it. And that's my alma mater, and I love Sherman and the people there, but I'm appreciative for Life as well, and that's okay. We don't have just one chiropractic school. So with that said, man, we now we're going into getting ready for October, and you know, summer's not always the biggest one, and this one was huge. This was a huge DE, man. A lot of people there, which is great. Which growing and growing, man. It was great to see people back. It was great to see all the kids in the back of the room. That was one of my favorite things. Was all the babies, man. That was absolutely amazing. Our babies having babies, man. It's incredible. You see Tim Warner now pregnant, and well, his wife pregnant. Just such good stuff, man. That's to me, that's what DE is all about. People have heard me say it before. I just want to raise my kids there, and I got to, so we're getting ready for next DE October, which is also in Marietta. October, I think it's 21st to 24th. There we go. Oh, she's so good. October 21, 24. And then I'll go back to that, but then just know that we have two Sarasotas in a row so that we can, we have to meet our contractual needs. So we'll do January and April in Sarasota, which is going to be awesome. I'm excited about that. Back to October, the GCC we have done now. This will be the fourth annual Chiro Cup golf tournament. Raise money to raise awareness for just opioid awareness, but really more for chiropractic's role in health and being healthy and how healthy people don't need drugs. So there's the flyer. We're doing it Thursday of DE. So like it starts at like 8 o'clock or something like that. So we'll be done. Like I think we finish up usually like 2 or 3 o'clock, somewhere in there, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the latest. So we can all get to DE on time. It's a blast. It's all inclusive, man. You go, there's a Bloody Mary bar in the morning. Cigars are free. Drinks on the course. Tito's girls are there. It's just an absolute phenomenal time. So anybody, I know we were talking to a few people coming down early. I know Martinez Moriarty, pretty sure Judson will be there. There's a couple other people I forget told me they were coming this weekend. Message me so I know who's coming if you're planning on playing, because we would love to have you out. It's a great time. Tonight, though, let's get rolling. So everybody knows we had the Magnificent Seven at DE. If you weren't there, seven of our DE brothers, I think just brothers, maybe brothers and sisters, but I think just brothers, lost a crap ton of weight, man. Dave Sarnoff kind of called out Judson a few months ago and started talking to him about exercising, eating right, and 2-a-day workouts and things. And a bunch of people, these seven jumped on board, and I think combined they lost like over 300 pounds, and that's just awesome. And they held that accountability group, and they held each other accountable, posted their workouts and all that kind of stuff. And after DE, Judson was getting a ton of messages about people who wanted to be involved and do that and help us. And so we said, why don't we get Sarnoff on here, who started them going rolling. And Chase Dias just texted me, he's coming in for golf. Good deal. And let's help him get other people rolling, because you know what? There's I don't know who that was. It just says Facebook user on mine, but somebody's 1,000% in. That's good for the Chiro Cup. But let's help them get rolling because, we have a lot of work to do and a lot of people to help. And the healthier we are, and, we could all pretend that, that you can get adjustments and turn, hamburger, whatever, McDonald's into great tissue. But to be honest, we need to be moving and we need to be eating well. And I couldn't be any happier to see people getting on that kick. And, I thought Martinez said it really best, man. He said, no more day ones, which was huge. I took that to heart so much with other aspects, even in my life, about no more day ones. You know what? Let's just do it and keep going, man. Let's not have a lot of our people, dropping, early for no reason, man. Just, it doesn't make you complete bulletproof, but man, you get adjusted, eat right, and exercise. Damn, man, there's not a lot that's coming at you. So I'm glad we're doing this, David Sarnoff. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you did with the luncheon this time. It was a different feel. And, Kat does an amazing job, but she also juggles 52,000 plates. It was difficult for you to step in, when you did this time, but, coming up soon, it's going to be great. Some of the things we can do. So I appreciate you, everything you did. I appreciate you being on here doing this. Chris O'Brien, feeling great. Good job, buddy. He's one of the Magnificent Seven. And I'm going to turn it over now to Dr. David Sarnoff up in New Jersey, man, Atlantic City. We love and appreciate you. Thanks for doing this, man. Take it away.
I'm all filled up. I just like to start out with saying, how can I become more aware of the unlimited possibilities that the universe has to offer me right now? How can I become more aware of the unlimited possibilities that the universe has to offer me right now? To be in the world, not of the world. To be in the world and not of the world. Hi, family. Hello. I just want to start out by having an attitude of gratitude, as my classmate would say, Oasis, and that, the work that you saw me do this past weekend with the luncheons and different things that happened, that couldn't have been possible without Katrine, Kat. I've been organizing events, big events, similar to that are like 7 nights, 8 days long for other chiropractic leaders on outbound excursions and stuff like that. And I understand what goes into setting up an event. And what she did, how she set up that hotel from Embassy Suites was amazing. So she set up the entire cake and I was just part of the icing. So, it's a pleasure and honor to work with somebody who is spot on with attention to detail and stuff like that. And, please show your gratitude when you come to the next DE and maybe, bring her something that she likes. I know that she likes SAS shoes. Santa Claus told me that. But, just show your appreciation, because the reason we're so comfortable is because of her and her team. And I was exhausted from what I did this weekend, making everything right and checking on different things. I mean, there's something to say about just going to DE and just having the responsibility, just sitting there and soaking it up and shedding the husk. So I wanted to start out and, just acknowledging her and how much work her and her team have done. The next thing I want to talk about is how simple it is to be a chiropractor when you're involved in DE. It's like Judson said on stage, you, them, and innate. And it's really that simple. Going to DE, 4 times a year and with some in between ones that they have, in different cities, you guys know. And it's like, if somebody goes to DE and they think that it didn't work out for them, they should go back. I mean, it's like somebody in our office that we talk to or that comes in or in public. Oh, I tried chiropractic. It's not for me. We got to open up our heart and talk to this person and come back, because if somebody has a subluxation, they are far better off removing the interference out of their nervous system, express life at their God-given potential, and move on. They just met the wrong chiropractor. Well, brushing their teeth isn't for me. Come on. So students that go to DE, And it doesn't matter to me where a student graduates from, in the sense that if we can bring them the DE, we can show them a better way, whether they're going to Northwestern or Cleveland, Sherman, Life West, Life East, Palmer South, Palmer East, it doesn't matter. So bringing people into DE, and then they get to open up and shed their husk, and yeah, they're going to still help people, but they're going to do it with freedom. And it's so easy when you're a dynamic essential chiropractor in the office. Like today I went to work and I had fun, and it's like, I forget one of the speakers that talks about it. You go into work and it's like, that's your home. That's where you're the most relaxed. That's where you're just serving and loving on people, and that's your only responsibility. And then when you come home with the kids or different things like that, or, that's where things, you go to work and stuff like that. So let's all try to collectively, like we talk about, make an effort to get students in there, and maybe that chiropractor in your neighborhood or in your community that, you feel that could use DE, sponsor the person. I think DE put out something, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, where if you bring a doctor of chiropractic to Dynamic Essentials for their first time and you're paying off for it, I think it's $150 off or something like that. So I'm not sure how the numbers work, but it's either $150 off or you only pay $150 for the registration. And the king of this is Andy Harding. Like, he brought Casey's story this weekend with his daughter. Oh my goodness gracious. And I just had such an awesome experience at DE. And, and that being said, the people that are on stage that we've seen, some of the pictures that you've seen that I put up there on that little montage or whatever it is. One of them was Dr. Sigafus. One of them was Dr. Accurso. I have other pictures, with Reggie Gold and Pasquale Sarasoli. And, there's chiropractors that are up there that did real well, and they passed away early. And a lot of times some of these chiropractors are, and I'm not, in respect to the people at rest, I'm not going to mention any names, but some of these chiropractors passed away because of the lifestyle habits that they had. And whether it's, drinking or, obesity or, lack of stretching, lack of taking care of themselves, it's a shame because, it's like when you take a person that's really overweight, they're such a lovable person. You know why they're a lovable person? Because they give and never receive. They never take care of themselves. They're always putting people first. And we love people like that. It's like, oh my God, he's so nice. He'll do or she'll do anything for you or whatever. But then they're completely out of balance. Maybe they have a strong relationship with God, but health is number fourth. It's maybe for them, it's God, family, chiropractic, health. It's not a winning relationship, and we lose people. And I saw. I'm gonna show some respect. I'm not even going to mention his name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I saw somebody up on stage who's one of our leaders, and I'm like, man, this guy he's bigger than life, and in a sense that he has such a huge heart, and he's given so much to our profession, and he's helping so many chiropractors, and he's helping so many people in his community by expanding offices. And he's a wonderful family man. He's all these different things, but he was so out of balance with his health, well over 300 pounds, no flexibility, no range of motion in the cervical spine. And, I'd receive phone calls from people that love him and tell me, please help. And I finally said to myself, I was like, there's been past chiropractors that have passed away, and I cannot let it happen to this guy. And I'm going to do everything that I can to get him to put health second in his life, next to a relationship with God. And as he talks about, it was a battle in the beginning. and I wasn't hanging up the phone. It's just, it's like Oasis says, I wasn't committed. I was obedient to accomplishing this. So then I had some, strategic moves that I wouldn't do on anybody else again. But, I had him commit to writing a pretty serious check if he didn't hit this goal. And that was his motivation. And so how we started out is, well, first of all, let's just step back for a second. We know as doctors of chiropractic and the anatomy of the body, okay, and this isn't chiropractic, but this is just simple anatomy. If you're obese, your skeleton is going to wear out quicker. You're going to have osteogenic changes in the vertebra. You're probably going to lose posture. So if your bones aren't sitting in the proper position with the cervical curve, the thoracic curve, and the lumbar curve, it's going to advance degenerations in the bones, which is going to have candle dripping in the vertebrae, bony spurs, disc degeneration, stenosis. So the expression of life isn't going to be able to get into the body to give us a full supply of innate intelligence. Number two, we're chiropractors. I mean, I think that if I could be anything in the world, I'd want to be a chiropractor in the world. When I was younger, I thought, maybe I wanted to be Joe Montana or, a professional football player or something like that. Joe Montana right now is 63 years old, and Dan Marino is 63 years old. These guys are multimillionaires, but they suffer with pain every single day. And the thing of it is now I'm 52, I'm going to be 63 in 11 years. There's no way I'm going to be feeling anything like Joe Montana is. I'm going to have full range, God willing, I'm going to have full range of motion, be a multi-millionaire when I'm 63, still be serving people, helping people, in the practice, and maybe, even more. And my whole life, I've always wanted to be me because I've earned it. And it's a comforting feeling when you know that what you've worked for, you're sitting in your own skin. And I hope everybody else feels that way too. And as a chiropractor, we also know that when you're a chiropractor, you have a certain responsibility in public that you need to uphold. Number one, you should be in great shape, as a chiropractor. And then people can say, when you're at a local baseball game or in church or in synagogue or whatever. Yeah, see that young lady over there, the one that's dressed real nice with a real nice body? That's my chiropractor. Oh yeah, she's hot, right? Yeah, she's 63. Something like that. But we have a responsibility in society to be the top of the food chain. I mean, because next to a relationship with God, health is number two. So if we're connected with God, that's number one. And if we're at the top of our health game, that's number two. And then we're good to our family, that's number three. And then we're chiropractors, that's number four. I mean, we're the superheroes of planet Earth, period. And go one step farther, DE is the absolute quintessential spot for a principled chiropractor to be when you follow in that hierarchy. But people that are out of balance with number two, you're fooling yourself. And, I heard some people say that, I want to do this, but can I drink on the weekends? You're fooling yourself. I want to do this, but, I'm going on vacation. You're fooling yourself. You have to be obedient to becoming your God-given potential weight. And I don't know what that is for you. For me, when I started with Judson, I was in pretty good shape. I was around 223, 225 pounds, and I had more muscle on my body. And then we picked up a couple other people along the way. Frank Malsanti, because I used to see him on stage. Actually, I said I wasn't going to say names, but okay. I don't know if there's HIPAA and Magnificent Seven, but I apologize. So anyway, I saw Frank on stage, and he had such a big heart. He was so lovable, and he had so much to give. But his number two was so far off and out of balance that I knew that I wanted to open up to him because I was having some strong success with Judson. And then we picked up Eddie Martinez because I saw him on stage. And I saw that his number 2 was just getting out of control. And we picked up him. And then we picked up Chase. And then we picked up Chris O'Brien. Chris O'Brien got picked up because when Steve was on stage, and I always had a nice relationship with Chris, seeing him through the years. I mean, we always we resonated. He's my people with Jamie and stuff like that. And when Steve called him out, I just kind of felt like I wanted to pick Steve up by picking up O'Brien, and we brought O'Brien under our wing. And then Steve called me. He goes, "Hey, man, we got room for one more." So Mike Coster, we picked him up. So we got Steve, Mike Coster, Chase, Eddie Martinez, Frank. I say that right? Steve Judson, Chase, Eddie Martinez, Chris O'Brien, Frank Masanti, Mike Coster, and myself. Magnificent 7. On a side note, it's interesting because if we had 7 of our guys that took on 7 teams, 7 times 7 is 49. So we'd have 49 breaths working. I just thought that number was pretty cool. So anyway, I got in touch with all these guys and I set down some rules and I said, listen, enough is enough. I want to show you a way that, you can get everything that you want. And I pretty much called him out and said, number 2 should be your health. And if you listen to me and you follow my instruction, you'll have less degeneration in your skeleton. You'll have more energy. You'll be more attractive. And I guess there's nothing wrong with saying you'll be sexy at 73, 63, 53, or 23. It doesn't matter. Let's say attractive. You'll be an attractive human being. You'll be able to wear clothes. Like when Eddie was on stage, I was so proud of him. He had his shirt tucked in with the belt, and he was looking so svelte. And it just fills me up. And you'll have less body odor. You'll have less toxins coming from your gut that come into halitosis. Your teeth will be stronger. Your eyes will be brighter and white. Your skin will be, every single organ in your body will function better. And you'll be a lot more confident, when you're walking around at your God-given weight. And the thing of it is that your remaining years, you'll have a lot more quality. If God has you living to 100 years, you're going to have quality of life in your 70s, in your 80s, and in your 90s. I mean, you could be playing pickleball when you're 92 years old. Why not? My goal is to ride 100 miles on my bike on my 100th birthday. And until I don't do it, nobody's going to convince me otherwise. And another great reason is that the kids that you're raising, they see that mommy and daddy are ultra successful in the sense that they're teaching us, mom and dad is teaching us how to have a relationship with the reason why we're here. Mommy and daddy are ultra successful. They're eating to live, not living to eat. Mommy and daddy are ultra successful and they have a lot of family time, and they're here for my, soccer games and my homework and different things like that. They're always lend an ear if I need to tell them something. And they have ultra successful businesses in the sense that their job is to go out and help society, remove themselves of vertebral subluxations so people can express life without interference. That's a superhuman being. We're the Marvel and DC people on planet Earth, period. So we need to fulfill number 2. So when they came in, I said to them, I'm not going to put any biomechanical stress on you, but I need you to be mind strong in the beginning. And the truth be told is, if you ask all 7 of these guys right now how they're making out, they're going to say it's so simple. Just like chiropractic, it's so simple. We wake up, we do this, we do this, we do this. We go about our day. Before we go to bed, we do this and post it, and that's it. It's so simple. So how it works is like this. My recommendation is that you get 5 to 7 chiropractors. I would keep it, I would say the gals go with the gals and the guys go with the guys. It's just easier that way. Guys lose weight different than women do. Women are much more organized than guys. Women will get frustrated with a guy on their team. And you know, it's just, for now, I think that there'll be more, it'll work better. Okay. It'll work better if you stick that way. I would go 5 to 7 people. Okay. And how it works is this. I would download Strava on my cell phone. STRAVA, and it looks like a little yellow app, and you can use it for swimming or walking or running or cycling, and it's a free app. And basically how it works is when you leave the house, you tap on the app, and you go down to here, and it says record, and then you just hit start, and it has your GPS on there, and it tells you, you know, where you're walking. You want to show accountability with the people, your magnificent 7, or your straight 6, or your fabulous 5, or you're an 8-8, and the first thing that you do is, well, first of all, let me explain why. The why is the most important thing. I get up 8 o'clock in the morning. I have to get up 8 o'clock in the morning to be at my 11 o'clock shift, right? So I get up 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, I like making my wife a parfait or something like that, or, you know, doing some morning routine in the yard, take a shower. I like to get to work early, do some phantom adjusting, and I'm there at 11. You know, I'm ready to go at 11, and that's the start of my day. So what I do is I wake up at 4:45 in the morning, and some of you are like, oh my God, 4:45 in the morning. Settle down. I wake up at 4:45 in the morning. I put on my clothes, and I do a half an hour of activity, whether it's a walk. I prefer a walk. So a walk or a bike ride, something for a half an hour to get my blood moving with nothing in my system except water. Okay. Then after my half an hour is over, let's say it's 4:45, and let's say I hit the pavement at 5:50. And in the spring and summer and fall time, it's okay because you can do it outside in New Jersey. And then I'll walk until 5:25. Sometimes I'll walk longer. I'll walk till 6 o'clock, depending upon how I feel. But I at least get in a half an hour walk or 250 calories. Okay. Then I come home, I shut my phone off, and then I go back to bed. I don't put anything in my system. No banana, no cereal, nothing. I go back to sleep. Now, as you know, chemistry of the body, when you go back to sleep, as a food source, your body's going to build glycogen. So then I go back, let's say I go back to sleep, let's say I'm in bed by 5:30. Now I burn calories, I got my body moving, right? Maybe I did some stretching in between my walk. Maybe I did 49 breaths in between my walk, whatever. And then I go back to bed. And I put on, blockers so the light creeping in the windows I don't see. I'll put on maybe some binaural beats that'll go, beta, alpha, theta, gamma, or delta to sleep. And then I'll wake up at 8 o'clock. So I'll go 5:30 to 6:30 to 6. I'll get 2.5 hours sleep, and I wake up. Now, when you wake up, you think you're going to be hungry. You're not hungry because your body built glycogen while you were sleeping. So then when I get up, now that I'm not hungry, I'm very strategic in what I'm going to put in my system. And I'm on an accountability with 7 other people that I want to show that I'm losing weight. And sometimes we have little competitions. And Mike Coster was great at this. He was the numbers organizer, where the person who loses the most amount of weight, and a couple other categories, which I'm about to explain, that team wins. And if that team wins, they get to sleep in an hour later, which nobody ever took advantage of because everybody was conditioned. It's like, oh my goodness gracious, like people are saying 4:45 in the morning. You start waking up 4:45 in the morning for 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 weeks, you don't need the alarm clock anymore. You start beating it up. I mean, how many people? It's right. So then I go back to sleep, and then I wake up at 8 o'clock and I have something strategic. I know that I'm going to have 3 meals in that day, and this is on Monday morning. So I have something, maybe a couple eggs, and sometimes I don't even eat because I don't need it, and I'll just wait till lunch. If I'm not hungry, see, most of us grew up that we weren't allowed to leave the dinner table until we finished our meal. David Sarnoff, you are not leaving that dinner table until you finish your string beans or whatever you're eating at that table. So we kind of are programmed, and we feel as though that we have to finish our meal when we're at a restaurant. And it's like the inconvenience of taking something to go and then bringing it home. And it seems like that as life goes on, each year that we age, we put on another couple pounds. And then we get to a certain point, oh, we're gonna do a South Beach diet, or we're gonna do the keto thing, or we're gonna do something else. None of that is necessary. I can tell you, this program is so simple, and is the anatomy that we studied and the endocrinology that we studied, you guys are going to pick it up just like that. And the amount of people that I saw in DE that have changed, I mean, Nicole and Dan, and just, it's amazing. It's amazing. And people are so much more attractive when they get down to their God-given thing. And when I say attractive, I mean like what's coming out of them, their confidence when they're walking, the clothes that they're wearing, and everything. And like, it's amazing, because I just sent Judson a video this morning. I was announcing him in 2015, and I was joking around because at the time he was probably 300 and some pounds, and I said the main event y'all been waiting for, weighing in an unofficial 217 pounds, and that was 6 years ago. And so then I asked him 2 years ago or last year, I'm like, what's your ideal weight? And he's like 217. And him and I didn't put it together until today. We saw that video. So what you think you are, just like Sigafus says, how many are you seeing? I'm seeing 1,000 a week. How many are you really seeing? I'm seeing 1,000 a week, right? So where do you see yourself at? For those of you, I know Frank Mosanti started at 365 pounds when I started with him, and I think he's at 293 today. And he sees himself at 215, 220 pounds. So he acts as if he's a 220 pounder. So what would a 220 pound person eat? I'll tell you, well, I don't want to jump too far ahead. Okay. So then just be careful what you eat at breakfast. I usually do a couple eggs. I like to drink water through the day. Sometimes water's boring. So what I'll do is I'll get, it's called Just Cranberry, Just Organic Cranberry. It's like $10, and it's in a bottle about this big. I pour about an ounce of that in there. The pomegranate bottle that's looks like a genie, whatever. I put an ounce of that in there. I'll put an ounce of maybe orange juice in there and into a big bottle of water. And so now I have flavored water. So now it's not boring. So then it kind of, helps me get the water into my system. Now, everybody knows that the stomach is wired. And when the stomach loses circumference, a signal goes to our brain that says, replenish the circumference in your stomach. Well, what that means is the body wants you to do this, right? Put something in your mouth. Well, that's why they say drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, because it's set. I mean, hopefully everybody's picking up on that before this conversation. So that's why when we drink water, we're satisfying the circumference in the body, and that signal shuts off, and then we're not hungry anymore. That's one of the key things. Plus, drinking water keeps you clean, keeps your mind clear, keeps you moving, keeps your muscles, ligaments, and tendons healthy, and so forth. And you're moving through the digestive tract, and and so forth. So then when lunchtime comes, I usually just do a salad, and I'll put a piece of tuna on there or a piece of salmon on there. And I'll just try to keep it clean. If I need to snack, I'll snack on like an apple or some almonds. or something like that. Or maybe like one of those little boxes of raisins and stuff like that. Just a light snack. Stay busy in the office. That helps, with just binge eating. And then when I come home for dinner, I do my best not to reach up to that particular cabinet and pull whatever out of there, whether it's what used to be in there, Oreo cookies, peanut butter, or ice cream and different things like that. I'm done with that. So then I eat a clean dinner. And then let's say I eat dinner at 6 o'clock or 6:30. Then the last thing that I do, and I haven't worked out at all I did is a morning walk for 30 minutes. And then the last thing I do, I let my food digest for a little bit. And then at 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, sometimes I'm announcing a fight and I get home at 11 o'clock and I do it at 11:15. I go for a half an hour walk and I burn 250 calories. Then I go to bed. After dinner, I put nothing in my mouth except for maybe a little bit of water. You don't want too much because then you're going to have to get up in the middle of the night and pee. And then I do my walk and then that's it. I'm done. Okay, so here's how the accountability group works. Before 5:30 in the morning, you have to get up, you have to stand on a digital scale, take a picture of the scale and your toes on the scale. That's number one. That shows us where your weight's at. So if you weighed in at 231 on Saturday, and then you weighed in at 238 on Monday, hey man, what's going on? We know you screwed up on Sunday. We need to sit down and talk. What'd you do? Go to 3 bar mitzvahs or something? Okay. So then first step is you should only be texting 28 texts a week, period. So if you got a magnificent 7, it should be 7 times 28. That's the only thing on your feed that you want to see. I don't want to see any excuses. I don't want to see it's raining outside. I don't want to see it's cold outside. I couldn't start my car. My cell phone died. None of that flies. If it does, you get cut off for the week and then you got to pick us back up on Monday. So what happens is first thing you need to do, take a picture, toes on scales, take a picture of it. That's number one. Number two, when you do your activity, you take a picture with your cell phone. If you're going for a walk, take a picture of the neighborhood. If you're going to the gym, take a picture of the gym. You have to do both of those things by 5:30. Now, when you're on Strava and you start Strava, it says when your start time is. So if your start time says 5:41, you're 11 minutes late. So then that's a scar if you're trying to build points, in first, second, and third place and stuff like that. Who gets the app to sleep in an hour or whatever. Then you do your workout, you do your 30 minutes or your 40 minutes or your hour, whatever your workout is. Then you go to Strava and then you screenshot your Strava results and then you send it to the group. So after your morning workout, before you go back to bed at 5:30, you have 3 texts that you send in. Then you go about your day, like I told you, with eating your lunch and your dinner, whatever. And then at nighttime, you go on your walk. You don't have to take a picture where you're walking to, but you have to screenshot your results, send it in. That's 4 texts times 7 days. That's 28 texts. We don't want to hear nothing. We don't want to hear excuses. Oh, I this, I that. I'm not waking up at 5:30 in the morning, this and that. If you follow this system and you get into that habit, all you're doing is walking, going back to bed, teasing your calories a little bit, and that's it. Now, what we've incorporated with our group is we fast on Thursdays. It's not necessarily just on Thursday. Like, in other words, I eat breakfast on Thursday morning at around 10 o'clock, 9:30, and then I'll fast for 24 to 30 hours because I'm off on Fridays. Well, at least I do a farmer's market on Friday in the summertime, but I'm not in the office on Fridays. Farmer's market, I'm outside with the table and stuff. So I won't eat from Friday morning or Thursday morning. I'll go through my shift. I do 11 to 1 and 3 to 6. Then the hardest thing for me to do is to get to bed and not eat something. But once I'm in bed, my body builds up glycogen. I wake up the next morning and I haven't eaten for probably 20 hours. I'm not even hungry. I mean, I'm not even kidding. It's the farthest thing from my mind. So then I'm like, well, if I'm not hungry, why break it at 24 hours? Let's go to 30 hours. So what happens is I go to 30 hours. And then when I break my meal, I'm very strategic with it. I'm putting something back into my system. And let me tell you something. When you go to bed and you don't have anything in your system, think about if we were all innate intelligence and we were in a body, right? And then all of a sudden our body went out and had steak, mashed potatoes, tiramisu dessert, a couple drinks and stuff like that. Now as the innate intelligence, we have to digest all this food. We while they're laying in bed and they're trying to sleep, where we should be working on replenishing and refurbishing the heart, the liver, the lungs, the feet, the eyes, the hands, and everything else. This schmuck goes out and puts such a big meal in the system. Now we got to focus on taking that meal and digesting it. No. So when you go to sleep and you don't have anything in your system, it's got to be a holiday for your body. Think about that. You haven't had anything to eat, and everybody knows that when you don't have anything to eat, go in survival mode. So you get better sight, better smell, better taste, better awareness. Your hands have hypersensitivity, and you're a superhuman being because you're supposed to hunt. And then you go to sleep and there's nothing in your stomach. What do you think your innate intelligence is going to do for the next 8 hours that you're sleeping? It's going to work on, cleaning up the heart, cleaning up the kidneys, cleaning up the adrenal glands, the liver, your eyes, everything. You wake up, you're like superhuman. It's crazy. So then usually the best weigh-ins for us are Friday morning, because if you're not eating for a whole day, that's where you really, really drop your weight. So that's about it. That's really, it's so simple. There's not much else to it. Just be careful when you start doing it and you got a lot of success, and then you come across people. Oh, for my team, I'm going to fill you in on what AFMH stands for. And they haven't known. I'm sure Steve's smiling ear to ear right now. But AMFH stands for Acquired Fat Man Habits. Should be actually person. And so whenever somebody's on our Magnificent Seven and they're like, I got a big 50th birthday party I'm going to tonight. I don't know if I'm going to hold my, and I text them AFMH. And they're like, what the hell does that stand for? It's Acquired Fat Man Habits. And it's like, I think Fred Barge talked about it in his book. It's actually called acquired degenerative habits that we acquire, that we feel that we got to eat. Like we live to eat, and we just had we just hit $100,000 or a certain patient thing. Let's go out and celebrate, eat Christmas time, Thanksgiving, and eat. It's not the way it is. These 6 guys that I'm working with have showed such strong character in maintaining week after week after week after week with 28 techs, losing weight, dropping weight, practices going up. And for those of you who want to drop weight and then your wife or your husband sees you doing it and they're not chiropractors, honey, you want to go for a walk with me? Sure. And then the husband goes for a walk with the wife. And then all of a sudden now the husband's losing weight, right? And then all of a sudden, like the guy's doing it, and then the wife wants to go for a walk. Then all of a sudden the wife's losing weight. Look, my wife's beautiful. She doesn't lose any weight as far as I'm concerned, but she started walking with me and she pulled some inches off of some areas that she didn't. She's excited. And same thing happened with Eddie Martinez. She was working with Judson's wife, and she's done great. So women should stay with women because you guys are much more organized than I are, and you'll come up with you'll have like T-shirts and little celebrations and stuff like that. Men are just we don't have what it takes to do what you guys do. But I want to give you my cell phone number, and I have a couple teams right now that we're putting together. I know that Nick and Alex and a couple people we're putting together, and then Bethany and Chase's chiropractic assistant, we're putting together. And I'll guide every single team that gets put together. I'll guide you. And then eventually what we'll do is we'll give you somebody that will kind of help you run your team and stuff like that. And then you'll branch off, and then each one of you will have 7 people, and then 49 will go into multiples of, 7 and so forth. And before you know it, we're going to change one person, then we're going to change one family, then we're going to change, one office, then one community, and hopefully it expands out all the way. So my cell phone number is 609-442-7200. (609-442-7200). Just please text your name, where you live and stuff like that, and then I'll program you in And, you know, I'm here to serve you. I'm giving for the sake of giving, loving for the sake of loving, and, you know, out of my own abundance, and I expect nothing in return. Bless you. I expect nothing in return. You know, I just, actually what I expect is I expect Judson to be on that stage until he's, because we're pretty much the same age. I expect Judson to be celebrating his 100th birthday with him. I told Brian the other night that I hope I'm there to surprise him at his 100th birthday. I mean, people say middle age when you're 50. Well, if you're at the 50-yard line and it's the midfield, you got 50 yards to go. So if you're middle age and you're 50 years, you got 50 years to go. So to do that, you want to be the ideal God-given weight, right? So right now I'm 207 pounds, at 206, 7 pounds at age 52. I anticipate that when I'm in my 80s, I'll probably be 185. You know, God intended us to have a lot of meat on our body when we're babies because we fall down, so we have cushion. But when we get older, we're supposed to have the intellect and the knowledge not to fall down, so we should shed the weight. I think that's all I got for you guys. I love and appreciate everybody for, you know, sticking around and listening to this. Hopefully this will be a timeless video that many people can use and really help them out. I can't hear you.
Hey, thanks for doing this. It's going to be powerful for a lot of people. I'm excited for it, for people to just get on board and get healthier, man. Get closer to where they're supposed to be, man. So I really do appreciate it. I think this will be a very well watched video, and you laid it out very, very clear. I downloaded Strava actually, so that's good. But we appreciate you doing this and all that you do for everybody and for your selfless service, man. I know you do it for the right reasons, so I appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Love everybody. Have a great week. Kick ass this week, and we'll see you back next Tuesday. Later, guys.